Welcome back to West Sound TV Presents High School Basketball. It's the beginning of the 2012 season, and we're just a few days before Christmas here in the town of Tracy with the beautiful Christmas tree out along the waterfront as the Olympic High Trojans host the Bremerton High Knights in what has been a great spirited ball game so far. Bremerton up 32-29, Olympic with the inbound. I'm the Dr. Doc Parr. Eric Reichel's on the camera, and Kitty Campagna on that other microphone. And Kitty, that first half was pretty spirited.
Oh, it moved fast too, let me tell you. And there is something right about there being that much blue and white out there, as it is also the beginning of Hanukkah. So they planned that, I am sure.
Did we get some stats from that first half?
I know at least who the leading scorers for each team, leading everyone.
Lawrence is going to add 3 to his total.
He might be right up there now. Andrew Shadle has a dozen, and then CJ Encomiendo has 10 for Olympic.
And that is CJ out at point. Sends it over to the side, long outside shot that time by Gallagher is off, and Bremerton with the board. Just underway in quarter number 3. Marshall Stevens sends it down to Pounds. Pounds is rejected that time by Andrew Hammond.
Phillips taking it the distance, but not quite getting enough angle off that backboard.
Michael Lawrence out there at the point for the Knights. That's Shadle, number 10. In the middle is Marshall Stevens at the high post. Down low is Tim Pounds, and that shot's an air ball.
So Stevens, one of the big men, is not afraid to shoot from the 3. In fact, I don't believe there's anyone on this court afraid to shoot from the 3, except maybe you and me, Doc.
Quentin Phillips to Encomienda. Outside the arc. Hammond dishes it off to Gallagher. Gallagher drives and gets fouled. He'll get a trip up to the free throw line. It's a 6-point lead for Bremerton, 35-29 at the 6:20 mark at quarter number 3.
About the biggest lead we've seen all night is six points, and that has seldom been safe as quickly as these threes have gone down.
Oh, and Trent's shot thought about going through, but decided not to. That was nothing but wide.
He didn't let it think that time.
Yep. A little bit of full court press by the Trojans, but the Knights get it. No, they don't get it. They did, and they brought it back. It's a half-court violation.
He said that Michael Lawrence it was an over and back, yeah, that he did not, that he was on one side and then went to the other side.
That's why it's always scary when you stop your dribble and pass to somebody right up there by the line.
That's correct.
Oh, Hammond managed to hang on to it. Encomiendo go for 3 and make it. Olympic within 2 now, 35-33. Lawrence with it. Uses a screen from Stevens. Nowhere to go, though. Good D by Hammond, but Lawrence fights his way through for the
2 points on that one. Yeah, exactly.
It's 37-33 as the Olympic High Trojans are going to call a timeout.
Well, and that was a tough one because he certainly seemed to have gone up and down on what would have either been a travel or at least a jump ball at that point. So people kind of stopped at that point unless you hear a whistle, because the gentlemen in the stripes are the ones who have to see it happen. You don't stop play.
And head coach Devin Huff is assisted by Jerry Hurd and Nate Suggs, our athletic director here at Olympic High. Nate Andrews, thank him for all the help he gives us when we come in to set up. And Bremerton's head coach, Darren Bowden, assisted by Sean Diggs, Phil Olwell, Eric Boyer, and the Bremerton AD, new this year, Jeff Martin. Well, Olympic has the ball. They are working it around outside the three-point line. Ball knocked out by Bremerton. And again, there has been no worry about the shot clock by either team so far. 35-second shot clock. Andrew Hammond brings it in, out to Encomienda. Gallagher, look away pass to Phillips. Oh, good job by Quentin. Couldn't quite finish it, and the rebound pulled down by Tim Pounds. Lawrence over to Stevens, and Stevens didn't get the bucket, but he'll go to the free throw line for 2.
A nice hesitation because he saw Full-of-Love go up, and he waited for him to come back down, and then he went up.
4-point lead for Bremerton, and Marshall Stevens can add to it here.
That's only 2 on Full-of-Love, although I really thought that was number 3. You like it when your 6'5" guy has that nice smooth stroke from the free throw line.
Yep, and he made 2 of them. We're back to a 6-point lead for the Knights over the Trojans. CJ directing traffic out at the point. Over to Hammond. They're looking inside, try to get it to Full-of-Love. Encomienda. That's Gallagher. Back to CJ. Uh-oh, double team. Ball's knocked loose by Lawrence, and nobody's got it yet.
Oh, we're needing some helmets for this one.
I guess.
Wow.
Thought it was a fumble there, Kitty. Well,
and there have been several kids who have gone out early this season with some concussion-like symptoms. And you can see why. I mean, no matter when you are diving for that ball and somebody else's elbows and all kinds of things meet each other.
And Marshall Stevens been doing a nice job up at the free throw line for Bremerton.
Extends that Bremerton lead to 7, looking for 8 right now.
Yeah, with 3 fouls, Andrew Hammond comes out of the game. Quentin Phillips, he had a good first half. Oh man, a lot of hands in there. That would have been an almost impossible shot with all those defenders.
Well, Phillips is only listed at 6'1", and he was up against some trees in there.
And Joel Steer, once again, a big board for the big guy. Air ball for Phillips that time. Olympic hasn't quite gotten into a rhythm yet.
Now, at the moment, Phillips is kind of taking the team on his back and doesn't need to. He's got some other good offensive threats out there right now.
Lawrence with the outsider count, hit for 3, and the biggest lead tonight, 11 points for the Bremerton High Knights, halfway through quarter number 3.
Coach Huff pacing the sideline.
Gallagher's 3 attempt is off, and Pounds with the rebound.
Coach Bowden trying to slow down his Knights. We'll see if that happens.
Anders Shadle looks for the 3. That's an air ball, but they're going to say out of bounds.
Good try by Connor Wales over
almost
there.
stole it.
If I remember correctly, Connor was the homecoming king at the homecoming game that we did in football.
Back in for the Trojans.
3:32 left to go here in the third period, and Bremerton with an 11-point lead, 44-33 over Olympic.
Shot clock did not move. And he's estimated that the shot clock should be at about 24 and that they're going to get the, not 34, they're moving it down. Good job by the referee. I did not get their names this evening. I apologize.
Phillips inbounds, and into the game now is R.J. Neal. Oh! That was kind of a hot pass for Steer to handle with 3 defenders around him. Long outs, or a nice drive, but the shot would not go down for Tarek Sims in the game for Bremerton. Gallagher drives the paint. His shot won't go down. Shadle with the board.
Gives it to Michael Lawrence.
Connor Wales, cross court to Shadle. Sends it back out to Lawrence, and Lawrence with another 3. 47-33 now, a 14-point lead for the Bremerton High Knights.
Lawrence has a unique shooting motion on that three. He starts it pretty darn low, but when he had quite a bit of time because of that efficient passing.
Timeout at the 2:20 mark here in number 3, and Bremerton has moved out with a 14-point lead in the game here in the third quarter.
Doc, I'm kind of, I thought that Coach Huff would call timeout as soon as it got to double digits, and he waited a little longer than I thought he would, but I am sure he has a plan behind what he's doing. He's got these guys looking at an actual play. They'll come back in with 21 seconds left on that shot clock.
No, I don't think, like I said earlier, Olympic has not really found any kind of a rhythm. They're forcing the issue, I think. And the more that Bremerton scores, the more Olympic seems to force the issue. And they can't do it.
That's easy to do. It is easy to get into that force mode.
Sure is, but they don't have the team to do it.
Well, Doc, right now they're introducing to the crowd in front of us Larry Dixon, who is now at the Army at West Point, and he was the starting fullback in the Army-Navy game this year.
Now, that wasn't our Army-Navy game.
No, it was not the flag football one.
That was the real Army-Navy game.
Army did not win, but Larry had a pretty good game. Every time he carried the ball, I said, I know him. So, and my family said, shush. But he got a big applause from this crowd. They understand, they appreciate the serving the country and the service he did at this school and the records that he set.
Olympics, Quentin Phillips jump shots off, but Steer knocks it out, and R.J. Neal keeps it alive for the Trojans. And they're going to call Bremerton for the push as Phillips cut across the paint. That'll be the second team foul on Bremerton, and the first foul on Tarek Sims.
Bremerton foul number 42.
Well, when you're driving the paint, that is one of the things. You can't always shoot it. You've got to be also willing to pass it back out. Steer with the putback.
Joel, this time he's been doing a great job of rebounding, but he finally gets the putback. Oh, well, good pass.
And Shadle eventually gets the points out of it because he's where he needs to be for that rebound.
Offensive rebounding and putback.
I think we're going to call Shadle the answer man tonight. He has answered back on some threes and some putbacks, so that was pretty by Broussard.
That was Neal.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, I'm going with the wrong team, I think, even.
Nice shot off the backboard for him. Shadle will take the jumper. That one's loose, and oh boy. A couple of Bremerton players almost going into the bench there, but couldn't save it, and Olympic will bring it in. 1:20 left to go here in the third period.
For the ninth, number 20, Eli Foltz.
Eli Foltz entering the game. And when we were mentioning the heights out there, Eli's 6'4", so once again he can replace height with height.
Neal to Gallagher. Back to Gallagher. Steer. They get it to Phillips. Oh, nice move by Quentin.
That time the angle was perfect.
Yeah, that was a nice move.
Dangerous pass when you're making it from
there he is right there on that line.
Yep.
Coach Huff wanted that over and back. Stevens fights for the shot. Ball's loose, but who comes up with it? It's Andrew Shadle. And Andrew will get a trip up to the free throw line for 2.
Shadle listed at 5'11", and I think he used to be listed at 6 foot, so maybe he's been pounded down a bit. But it's not the height, it is his strength, it is his positioning that where he's getting these rebounds.
Only a junior. And yeah, we saw him playing over at the Tacoma Dome.
We did, I remember that well.
Bremerton made it to the state championship tournament. Along with a couple of other pretty good players like Jarrell.
Oh yeah, Mr. Seattle University.
Yep. 11-point lead for Bremerton. They have the ball. Broussard out at the point. Shadle thinks about the three. Send it back to Danny, who'll take it. His shot's off, and again, another nice board by Steer. Good dish from Phillips to Gallagher.
And look who was down there. It was Steer for almost getting the offensive rebound. I really like the outlet pass on that too, and how they worked it. It just didn't go down.
Theo Robinson in the game
4 seconds.
That one's off, and Joel Steer added to the rebound total. At the end of 3 quarters, the Bremerton High Knights lead Olympic 50-39, but Olympic at least had a little bit of life there towards the end of that 3rd quarter, Kitty.
They definitely do, and they kind of stopped the bleeding where Bremerton just kept building and building on that lead, and Olympic took a couple points off of it. They seem to be working the inside-outside game just a little bit better and not so desperate. You know, down by 11 sounds like a lot, but not the way we've watched these guys shoot tonight.
Well, happy to have you with us. We're West Sound TV. We're a local nonprofit organization whose mission is to produce, promote, and help to develop local community television here in Kitsap County. And we're all volunteers, and we're happy to have Eric Reichel with us tonight on the camera, Kitty Campagna on that other microphone, and I'm the Dr. Doc Parr. And we're very happy to be working with the KitsapSun.com/game of the week, GOTW, to send this game around the world on the internet. And those of you serving our country at places around the world like Afghanistan and Germany and out at the ships at sea can even get this sometimes.
When they send them on the right signals, they can. And what we really appreciate are those people who are far away. Those who are near, we are really hoping that what they do is they watch a little bit of this and get a taste for the high school basketball. Even if the records aren't what you expect at times, it is a really good game that they put on this floor, and they play so hard, every one of them out there.
Phillips' long outside shot is off, ball fought for, and Hammond gets the board and a putback. A big offensive rebound for Andrew Hammond.
Hammond sat down with 3 fouls in that 3rd quarter, so they're liking having him right back there in the middle.
Full court pressure by Olympic, and timeout by Bremerton. Coach Bowden wants to get this team together and help them figure out a way to break that pressure, and that was what changed in the first half, is when Olympic threw that full court press on.
It did, and it was very successful. Like I said, I like where you have your big man in the middle, but I don't like where he's positioning himself right at the half-court line, because you set yourself up for that over and back, and that's kind of deadly.
Just underway here in the 4th period, and the Trojans have cut the Bremerton lead down to 9. Bremerton 50, Olympic 41. And so far, it's been a fun ball game to watch. Of course, we would urge all the fans out there to come on down and watch these games live. It's a great way to spend, especially a Friday or a Tuesday evening, watching some high school basketball.
Well, you know, the kids aren't in school. This is a great way to come out. There are a lot of games over the Christmas break. Just look on the Kitsap Sun site on the prep zone, and they have all of the games listed for every team in the area.
Broussard over to Robinson. Ball gets loose, and Gallagher comes away with it for the Trojans. Oh, got it. And Trent will get a trip to the free throw line.
Controlled chaos, I call that. It was controlled, though. Sometimes you see those guys enter, but he knew where his body was. He knew where the defender was. And even though he initiates the contact, he gets the foul.
That's one of those the coach goes, don't shoot, don't shoot. Oh, good shot.
Yeah, okay, good plan. Brings him back within 7. Misses a free throw.
And the rebound pulled down by Pounds. Robinson will take the 3. Count it. Uh-oh. And so Bremerton finally puts 3 on the board. They haven't scored for a little while there.
That is correct. They're right back to a 10-point lead with that three-point shot.
Icomanda over to Phillips. Uh-oh, ball loose, but it was knocked cross court by Bremerton, so a good pickup by CJ. And Olympic will maintain the possession. 6:30 left to go in the game.
16 seconds on that shot clock. Senior Connor Wales back in along with Michael Lawrence.
And Quentin Phillips will inbound, sends it in. Uh-oh, well, he can go back court, I guess.
He didn't have control. That is correct.
Whoa! A takedown.
That's worth, I think, 2 points in wrestling. We were talking about trying to find some wrestling experts. Maybe we can see what that was. CJ smiles, but that does reset the shot clock.
Yep, and that's 14 fouls on Bremerton, 3 on Olympic, and that could play a factor in this game as we get down to the final moments. Gallagher will elevate for the 3. It's off, and Pounds with the rebound.
Pounds gives it to Shadle, who isn't really one of the guards, but can play the position.
Connor Wales out at the side along with Lawrence on the other side. Long shot is off and nobody wants it. And Shadle, let's see who's there. Going to say Bremerton, and that's Andrew Shadle, Mr. Hustle.
It is. It didn't look like he had a chance at that. So, you know, you can live with that quick outside shot when he then puts in that much hustle going after it.
Yep.
But you can't live with the travel that happened after that.
Yeah, that wasn't on Andrew.
No, it was not. That is correct.
CJ Encomienda, Gallagher gets blocked out there. That'll be the 15th foul on Bremerton. And first foul on Andrew Shadle. As tough as he's played all the game, 1 foul.
Well, you know, in volleyball, they get knee pads. I am thinking in this game they have needed pads desperately.
I used to wear knee pads quite a bit playing basketball.
Full body pad sounds like a better plan. Pull
nice
puts
turn
it up.
around, but a bad shot. Nice attempt at the save. The ball goes to Bremerton. Long pass down low that Bremerton couldn't control it. Olympics got it. Oh, that was a good dish inside.
There's Encomienda.
And CJ puts 3 on the board. And timeout, Olympic with just over 5 minutes to go. They've cut the lead down to 6. 53-46.
Well, and Encomienda has had a couple times he's had the shot, but he has not forced it. That time, there was such crisp passing eventually that got it to him. He knew he had the time, took it. He's got a pretty shot, I tell you.
5 minutes, 7 seconds left to go in the ball game. And a 6-point lead for the Bremerton High Knights. And of course, these teams play each other twice during the season, once at one team's house and once at the other.
Well, and of course, poor Bremerton still in the 3A division and Olympic in the 2A, so we can usually figure out whether Olympic has made the playoffs. It is a whole, I think it involves sines and cosines and some square roots and things to determine whether or not Bremerton goes. So they just go out and play and then see what happens.
The sole 3A team in the Olympic League.
I did read where Bremerton will remain a 3A at the moment, but they are actually appealing that, Jeff Barton appealing it in that they've taken numbers from the West Sound Academy and some other places in Bremerton, outlets for Bremerton that are attended by students throughout the district. So they are saying not that many actually go to Bremerton itself, so we'll see.
Yep, that would be nice to have them all at 2A. And Port Townsend, the only 1A Olympic League team, is going to be moving next year, I believe, to the Nisqually League.
Well, Nate Joyce.
Gallagher knocking the ball loose, but coming back away with it is Tim Pounds. So Bremerton will maintain the possession, got a new shot clock. 4.5 left to go in the game.
Coach Huff says you got to come out on these guys. They're running a weave now.
Double teamed Wales, and he gets it away to Michael Lawrence. Lawrence will work the defender And they're going to call a foul on Olympic.
And you know, that's not actually a bad thing for Olympic, other than the fact that it resets the clock. We found out how the Olympic girls were in huge trouble when they didn't have enough fouls to force shooting at the end of their game against, that was Kingston. Name that team.
Bremerton brings it in. Connor Wales, Andrew Shadle with it now. Marshall Stevens out at the point. Back to Connor. Go to Lawrence. 20 seconds. Plenty of time left on the shot clock. Number 32 out there is DeCondy Dixon. 7 now. The shot clock's getting down. 4. And Stevens shots off. It hit the iron though, so there's a new shot clock.
We're going to get a foul on Gallagher. But that time he did it at the top of the shot clock, which is not a bad move.
And again, they have fouls to give, so it will not be a shooting foul. 5 team fouls now for each team. I don't think any player is really in foul trouble.
No, Andrew Hammond had 3.
Bremerton with it. Oh, Shadle wanted to get it to Marshall. Oh, and they're going to say Marshall sent it back and off the...
I'm thinking Marshall
Andrew
must have
Hammond.
floated above that ground over there.
I guess he was about 3 feet out.
He was.
Ooh, loose ball. Another scrum.
We're actually going to get a foul on that.
That's going to be tagged to Olympic High. Trey full of love, and that's Trey's 3rd foul. It's still no shooting foul yet.
Yep. It is an interesting strategy to slow it down this much with 3 minutes left and only a 7-point lead. So we'll see.
Bring it across half court for Bremerton. Ooh.
Connor Wales forcing the issue.
And it forced the issue to Olympic as he dribbles out of bounds, hitting CJ Encomienda, but the ball going off of Connor. 3 minutes left to go in the game. Phillips into CJ.
A little bit of a change in the offense where Coach Huff has put Encomiendo up at the top of the key.
There's Hammond over to Gallagher. Gallagher will try the 3. Shot is off, and Stevens with the rebound for the Knights.
And you got to really like the way they pass that around.
Oh, again, a fight for the ball, and Bremerton comes away with it. Michael Lawrence takes it across court.
Phillips with the definite foul on that particular one.
And that will put Bremerton up to the free throw line for the 1 and 1. As Olympic now has 17 fouls with 2:30 left to go in the game. Michael Lawrence going up there, the junior for Bremerton. Ooh, first shot right through. So he'll get a second. Extends the lead to 8. And that one's in and out. Rebound pulled down by Full of Love. Quinton brings it across court for the Trojans. He'll drive the paint, put it up with the offhand. Nice job by Quinton Phillips.
You know, you're not sure that you want him to go the full court, but once again, like you say, Doc, when he makes it, you're like, oh, yeah.
Oh, Lawrence wide open. Yeah, they're going to have to call that foul on Trey Full of Love.
Trey was all alone at that point.
Yep. And it's going to be a 2-shotter for Michael Lawrence.
8th team foul.
2:06 left to play in the game. Ooh, that one rattles out.
And along in for the Knights, number 40, Tim Pound.
Tim Pound's coming back in for Bremerton.
Bremerton came into this game from a 73 to 63 loss to Kingston, so they played them pretty close. And the Olympic team beat Port Townsend 43-23.
And second shot down for Lawrence. Now back to that 7-point lead.
And
CJ will
Comiendo.
try to cut it down with the three. Shot is off. Rebound pulled down, and Andrew Shadle will go up to the free throw line.
Gallagher with the quick foul on Shadle.
I don't know if you needed to take one right that quick.
Number 20, Trip Gallagher. That'll be
Probably not, but Gallagher is very comfortable taking it from just about anywhere.
for the Knights. Shooting 2.
They say he's actually shooting 1 and 1. I thought that they were off.
Yep. 9 team fouls, so it's still a 1 and 1. Shadle's got to make the first one. Right through. Nothing but net. Bremerton starting to stretch it out a little bit with 2 minutes left to go.
Coach moves Stevens on the sideline so that he's one of the tall people to rebound.
And 2 for Andrew at the free throw line. 57-48. A 9-point lead once again for the Knights. Oh, Phillips working his way, passes it to Fullilove. His shot is off, and Stevens with the board. They get it over to Shadle. And Andrew is not the guy you want to foul.
No, not after how he's been successful at that line.
He's been a pretty good free throw shooter. He dishes it down low. Nowhere to go. Travel.
An actual travel underneath. I was amazed they shot that quickly because there was still some time left on the shot clock.
Minute 30 left to go. Olympics going to have to put some points on the board. Gallagher will try. And rebound to Bremerton.
Back to a 9-point lead for these Knights. 1:15 remaining.
They got the big guy way out there even helping out on that weave.
Yeah, Tim Pound's out there. Here comes Marshall Stevens. Doesn't look like Olympics going to go for the full foul method, which is kind of nice to see.
Under a minute here. 18 seconds on the shot clock. Dish inside, ball gets loose, Olympics got it.
Oh!
And an outside shot comes up short for Phillips.
It may have been touched by the Bremerton defender as well. But if you're Coach Bowden, you've got to like the way these guys have handled this slow down offense at the end and that they were making their free throws.
And I think Coach Huff might want to talk to his guys about slowing things down a little bit.
We've got a timeout by Coach Bowden so he can get in all the extra guys on the team.
And it's always such a fine line between trying to slow guys down that are athletes and want to run and want to push, but sometimes you've got to slow things down, set up, and work it around.
You've got to watch your play develop. That's something that you and I both watch Gonzaga, and they beat Arizona because they were working their play correctly. They've had a lot of turnovers lately because they've been forcing it, trying to get it in somewhere too fast.
Yep.
And that's kind of what happens with Olympic.
We've seen that tonight.
We have.
Yes, indeed.
They didn't get much from their inside, that's for sure tonight. It was just, let's all shoot threes.
Doesn't hurt to have John Stockton's son playing.
Oh, he's got some skills.
That's Sacre.
Yeah.
Well, Bremerton's got 7 seconds. They got 2 on the shot clock. And Coach Bowden said just let them take the shot clock violation, and they'll have to put a few more seconds on the clock. It'll be about 4, 3, something like that.
In fact, they're not going to worry about it.
And there's the final shot of the game from CJ Encomienda, but the Bremerton High Knights come to trace it. and get a victory over the Trojans, 57-48.
Well, that puts Bremerton at 2-4 in the Olympic League and Olympic at 2-4. So, you know, I'm thinking this rematch could be very interesting.
Yeah, that'll be a good one down at Bremerton, I think. And again, we know anytime these two teams meet, it's going to be a spirited ball game. And it sure was tonight. A lot of hustle out there.
Ton of hustle, a lot of athletes out there. It's getting that chemistry and getting those guys to gel. That is the tough job that these coaches have.
And again, it's still early in the season.
Yeah.
We're less than a third of the way through, or about a third of the way through the season. So both of these teams have some work to do, but they both have the potential to get quite a few more W's.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Well, we're West Sound Community Television. Happy to have you with us, watching on BKAT or live on the internet on kitsapsun.com/Game of the Week, GOTW. Eric Reichel's been on the camera for us tonight. Kitty Campagna on the other microphone, and I'm the doctor, Doc Parr. Said, hope you had happy holidays. We will see you soon.